Welcome inside episode 589 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba, alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains, and we did it. Daniel Alfordson is a Hall of Famer, Pilsy. Even as late as when they said Daniel, I was nervous, but Alfie is a Hall of Famer now and forever.
It feels so good. Oh my God. What a way to start off the week. Daniel Alfredson in the Hall of Fame. Sure, the Stanley Cup got awarded last night. Whatever. Who cares? Boring. Alfie is in the Hall of Fame. What a moment. And you're going to get to see our live reaction to that moment happen later on in the episode. I feel like I blacked out since that moment happened, Ross. I'm on an all-time high. Let's go.
You can't get any better than that, as you said on a Monday show. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. Go to BetOnline, where the game starts. And now the show starts. This is the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.
For Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Senators your first listen on this Monday, June 27th. We are free and available on all platforms, including on YouTube, where the best way you can help the show grow is to subscribe to the channel, like the video by clicking the thumbs up, and leave a comment. Today's comment is the most simple one we're ever going to ask you. Alfie is a Hall of Famer. Just write, Alfie is a Hall of Famer, because Alfie. Oh my God, Pilsy, it doesn't get any better than that.
Oh my God, we did it. We did it, finally. And Ross, this year it felt different. It really did. Big time props to Alfie to the Hall, the social media page. The movement was real. We had people from outside of the Senators fandom and organization chiming in that it's about damn time. And he was the first name they read off. Oh my God, it feels great to have the greatest Ottawa Senator ever to be finally justified and properly honored in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
So in the last induction class, we got the first Senators draft pick when Marian Hossa was inducted. But when you win 3 cups elsewhere, you probably go in as a member of that organization. In this situation, the Chicago Blackhawks. But with Daniel Alfredson, he is an Ottawa Senator through and through. 17 of his 18 seasons in the National Hockey League was played in Ottawa. He was the longest serving captain at his time. Still tied for 5th on that list. Sorry, 6th, because Crosby jumped in from when I posted that stat. He's currently tied with the likes of Jonathan Toews, who I guess will jump him, but Shane Doan in there as well. He truly is Mr. Ottawa Senator. We could spend this whole show listing off the franchise records he still holds: power play goals, shorthanded goals, game-winning goals, points, goals, assists, games played, playoff points, playoff games played, everything else. This guy, he is Mr. Ottawa Senator, and it's about time that he is enshrined in the Hockey Hall of Fame. His 4th year of eligibility, you thought maybe it would be more difficult because they didn't have a class last year, Pilsy. Yeah. So you're like, oh man, two first ballots are going to come out, although the list maybe wasn't as concerning if you're an Alfie to the Hall of Fame fan as when you see Dion Phaneuf's name on the list of top 5 first ballot candidates. Now, for me, the biggest snub first ballot wise was Henrik Zetterberg, who won the cup. But again, you look at the regular season points, every other statistic except for that Stanley Cup he won with Detroit in 2009, it's Alfie. Like, Henrik Zetterberg probably grew up cheering for Daniel Alfredson type thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he was just so deserving of this. You know what? I'm willing to forgive the Hockey Hall of Fame for the years he was passed on.
That's very big of you.
Thank you. I'm willing to forgive and move on because it doesn't matter now. I don't think people are too concerned with how long it takes, especially it wasn't that long for Alfie, and it just had to happen. We knew it was going to happen. It felt right this time. The winds of change are seriously here in Ottawa. Like, everything, the past 4 years have just been despair, heartbreak, tragedy, the words I could use would just go on forever. But now the light at the end of the tunnel is here. Like we're getting to that end of that tunnel. Everything is starting to feel good again. Sens fans are crawling out of the woodwork. Alfie is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's a great day to be an Ottawa Senators fan.
Like, I almost get emotional when I think about it, because he joined the team. His first year as an Ottawa Senator was 1995.
Wow. Yeah,
his last year was 2013. So from the time that I was 3 years old.
We grew up on him.
From the time I was 3 until the time I was 21. Those are as much of your formative years as you can. Daniel Alfredson was synonymous with the Ottawa Senators, and even more so with hockey in Ottawa. Not only hockey, but the community, as the Alfie to the Hall account continuously hammered home. It's what impact you left in the game of hockey and around it. And what he did with the Royal Ottawa and beyond, his charity endeavors. Like, this guy, he is as much of a gentleman as you'll find around the game of hockey, and it is just so amazing. I guess we kind of buried the lead. The Hockey Hall of Fame has inducted Daniel Alfredson, Daniel Sedin, Henrik Sedin, and Roberto Luongo. I blacked out. I didn't even hear those names. But as we said, like, you hear Daniel, and you're like, if they say Sedin right away, oh my God, I would have absolutely flipped a switch. Especially, could you imagine, those like hero referees when they're like, and the call on the ice is no goal. Like, dramatic. Imagine he's like, Daniel Sedin. No, I would have absolutely lost it.
Yeah, I mean, Ross, I think the impact Daniel Alfredson has had on your life is very apparent, as I don't think any other time in your life would you, well, yeah, your dog's named after him, that's for sure. But I was going to comment
Alfie's fired up. He's already drunk.
Who else would be willing to do a dumb, goofy move like wearing a jersey backwards live on the internet?
Woo!
Other than you, in honor of Alfredson heading to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Let's go.
It's unreal. And I mean, this is my first year living outside of Toronto since the Hall of Fame eligibility began for Daniel Alfredson. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you didn't see it, again, we always recommend following us on Twitter at Sens Central is where you can find the show there. I did a lap around the Hall of Fame. I believe it was in his first year of eligibility.
Yep.
So I posted that photo again here today on Locked On Senators, and I'll pull it up here on YouTube as well. But it's perfect because you got the C on there as well, Pilsy. So it feels right, like you said. It's about time, and it's something that you can never have taken away from you, Pilsy. Daniel Alfredson, now and forever, is a hallowed member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. That might have to be on our list of things to do next year. Get a ticket to the Hall of Fame to be there for that moment. As you can see, yes. I did my campaigning right outside the headquarters of the Hockey Hall of Fame, right there on Front and Yonge.
Yeah, we've come a long way from that, Ross. And now Alfie's in. Like, it's just such a relief because, like, honestly, it was just frustration that it just seemed like the Senators are getting overlooked once again by the hockey world.
Especially when Sundin got in first ballot. And it's like, okay, yeah, he's probably a Hall of Famer, 500 goals. He had his best years as a Quebec Nordique. We know that. But
or Vancouver Canuck.
Okay, maybe not that. But it just felt right. And then you look at the international resume. I think that's probably where he solidified it this year, because you can't put the Sedins in and be like, oh, they won that gold medal in 2006. They played on the fourth line. Daniel Alfredson led the tournament in goals and points. He was the major reason. He wore a letter at that tournament. I believe Lidstrom was the captain, and then Sundin and Alfredson were both wearing A's. Or anyways, it was either Lidstrom or Sundin as the captain of that team. But you look at it, and next year, Yager's first year eligible, so he's obviously going to take a spot. And this was the perfect time to get Alfie in the Hall of Fame. So stick taps to all the Sens fans. That was as poignant of a campaign that as I have ever seen. The tweet that the Hockey Hall of Fame put out today, the only replies were hashtag Alfie in the Hall. It was unreal. I'm going to actually share the screen for the people watching on YouTube. I'm just going to scroll through it because it is truly remarkable. But Pilsy, like, what was your King Daddy Topper stat or part of Alfie's career that you thought just made him an absolute lock? Because for me, yes, the NHL accolades are unbelievable. But for me, that 2006 Olympics, winning gold and leading the tournament in goals and points, and also participating in 5 Olympic games, that to me was kind of like the overriding factor, because that's what you point to when the small brain people just go, oh, no cup. You can't go in the Hall of Fame. Guess what? All 4 inductees this year, 0 Stanley Cups between them. Between the Sedins, Luongo, and Daniel Alfredson. What is it for you that was like the seal of this guy has to get it?
Well, it's not one thing, Ross. It's the looking at his entire career as a whole. Like the Alfie to the Hall, they put out this great tweet, the NHL resume. And so you start off Calder Memorial Trophy. Okay, his first year in the league, I'm the best rookie. Hello, welcome to the NHL. I'm Daniel Alfredson. Okay, and you keep going. He's on the all-rookie team. The King Clancy Memorial Trophy in 2011. Mark Messier Leadership Award in 2012, 2013. And Ross, you pointed out on our Twitter page how many captains were under
developed
his
under.
Yes, exactly. So obviously, like the leadership to create leaders. Think about that. Like that's how much of a leader he was. Is he helped create leaders. So many all-star games. You look at the points, 1,157 points in 18 seasons, 100 postseason points on the dot. That's such a nice number. And the point per games numbers in the regular season, 0.93, almost a point per game, and then 0.81. It barely slows down in the playoffs. And yes, if you're watching on Twitter, you can see all the Alfie to the Hall tweets as a lot of our good friends are here. You see Sensual Healing, Jordy, a lot of guys that are big engagement on this show. They're showing up, and it's
great
all Alfie.
Photo here too, eh?
Yeah, that's epic with the background
the alumni
there. Oh my god!
Speaking of which, a little teaser. There's Patty Lalime. Well, we've got Lalime's Martian's going to jump on the next segment because we want to get another angle of just how exciting today is for the Ottawa Senators.
And we should throw it to our live reaction soon here, Ross, before we cut to the break.
Well, you want before the break? All right, let me just keep strolling because it's hilarious. We're
still going here.
There were 201 replies. Have you seen any?
No, not a single one.
Have you seen any that are not to the Hall of Fame?
Not a single one. Like maybe mix in one Sedins to the Hall. Nothing.
Like okay, let's speed it up here. Votes should be public. Ryan Prince, big Alfie guy. Okay, we got a Mike Vernon stand right there. 0 likes on that reply. Alfie the Hall. Like this is truly unbelievable.
It cannot be ignored. It can't be ignored. And it was not ignored.
Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of... Oh, Sedin's in long. We'll give him a like.
There it is. Okay.
All right. We made it to 1, and then you keep going.
Took 4 hours. That response was 4 hours ago. Holy crap.
All right. Before we hit the break, here it is. Our initial reaction to finding out Daniel Alfredson is in the Hall of Fame.
To announce 6 members of the Hockey Hall of Fame's class of 2022. All are distinguished individuals whose careers and achievements exemplify excellence and greatness in the game of hockey. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome one individual as a builder inductee. Herb Carnegie was born on November 8th, 1919.
Attaboy, Herb.
Hey, way to go, Herb.
He learned to play hockey and was part of an Ontario Junior B championship team in 19.
Oh, Junior B championship.
1939, he headed north to Timmins to further his career in intermediate and senior hockey, competing on 4 Allen Cup teams. After retiring from playing in Quebec in 1952, Carnegie tirelessly worked to further diversify the game until his death in 2012. The Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Herb Carnegie as an honored member. Congratulations to the Carnegie family. In the player category, 5 individuals were elected. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Daniel Alfredson.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh! All right.
There it is!
Alfie!
Alfie to the Hall, Alfie in the Hall. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yes! Oh! Woo! Congrats to Sens fans. Let's go!
All right, I probably should have stayed in my spot a little bit longer. I was so fired up wanting to get into recording. I kind of jumped out, was like, let's go after that. But the moment that got me, though, Pilsy, is between Daniel and Alfredson.
Yes, that was a long moment of time.
Yes, it is. All right, Pilsy, hit us with one of our favorite sponsors, and then we'll bring in Lalime's Martian.
Guys, BetOnline.net is the trusted online sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network. And sure, basketball is over. The Stanley Cup has been awarded, but there's still things you can get some action in on. You can look at golf, baseball, boxing, UFC, and wherever you want to do sports betting, you need to check out betonline.net because they've got all your betting needs. It's the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. It's betonline.net, where the game starts.
All right, Pilsy. So Daniel Alfordson is a Hall of Famer. It's absolutely remarkable. We could do the whole show about this. Well, at the end of the show, we'll touch on it. And we have an announcement. Like, I'm going on vacation. If you've been following along with the show, you know that our draft coverage is second to none, if I may say so myself. If you're just listening to this, check out our YouTube channel. We put out a 4-hour feature film over the weekend, and it's already our most viewed ever. So, Pilsy, our hard work paid off there. We appreciate all of our guests for joining us on that. But we're gonna do a little segment at the end of today's show, just touching on the history of the 7th overall pick. If it's not as comprehensive as you would expect from us, excuse me, but we've got bigger fish to fry on today's show. But Pilsy, one more thing about the other inductees as we wait for the Leames Martian to join us here, as the timing is perfect. But just say a quick word, a little stick taps in order for Daniel, Henrik Sedin, and Roberto Luongo.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they're not as exciting as the Alfredson induction, that's for sure. But you got to give it up for the Twins. True, like when else have you heard of some kind of accomplishment like two guys? They've played on the same line, the same team their entire life. They have twin telepathy. They're able to find each other on the ice without even looking. Their final game, of course, they end the game with a pass from one Sedin to the other to score to win. Like it was great stuff. And then Roberto Luongo, one of the greatest Canadian goalies of all times, one of the greatest goalies of all times. You got
third all time in wins. Like you gotta tip your hat to
goalie
that.
friendly show. Yes, we'll definitely give some respect where it's due.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to our boy at Leames Martian. It's been way too long since we've seen him, buddy.
I forgot what he looked like.
We did it.
Oh my God, you like the look or what?
That's an incredible look, Ross. I love that look for you. I love that look for all of us. What a ride that has been, eh?
Give us your immediate reaction.
Immediate reaction was thank God that actually happened, because it's been 5 years, and I know even with the COVID delay, that feels like a really long time to wait for a guy who we know is a legend in Ottawa. And what a career, and he's so deserving, and it makes me super pumped that he finally got in, guys. He's super deserving.
So over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about all the reasons why he should be in. I asked Pilsy already, and I gave my reason. But what was your, there's silver bullet. There's absolutely no talking down this point. This is why he has to be a Hall of Famer.
To me, it's got to be the leadership abilities and the way he, it's very similar to what we say about, I'm not making this comparison, but a guy like Brady Tkachuk, who always, sets the tone for the team. He drags the team into battle. And say what you will about the Sens not, winning a Stanley Cup, although they did get to the finals. But he did win an Olympic gold medal, and it's the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's not the NHL Hall of Fame. So you can't say he never won anything, because he absolutely did.
Pilsy, how about him using both of our answers? We didn't tell him what to say. He literally I said Olympics, and he said his leadership ability.
You guys just said that right before I got on?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, but that just goes to show that's what Daniel Alfredson is all about. That's why Sens fans have been banging on the table every single year. The inductions are coming out, and Alfie's not on the list, because a lot of the time, and it's no disrespect to these other guys, but you're like, Alfie was a much better player than this guy. Like, how is Alfie sitting on the sidelines and all these other guys are getting in? And it's finally here. Sens fans, they feel justified. We feel properly honored. Our greatest player ever is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, boys, I just started talking about it here. Obviously, you guys are the first ones I'm talking to about this, and I just started finding myself getting misty-eyed even just right now, just talking about it, right? Like, what a legendary career that we had the pleasure of watching him captain this team for 13 years, right? Like, and I mean, of course, he was on the team way longer than that, but 13 years as a captain is a long stretch. If I'm not mistaken, that's, the longest stretch to be captain of the team, right?
A long time. I tweeted out the list the other day. It was
not many longer.
Not many longer. And the list that is longer, Steve Eiserman, 19 seasons, ridiculous. First ballot Hall of Fame.
Wasn't he captain in his rookie season? He was one of the youngest captains ever.
That's insane. So it's Steve Eiserman at 19, Joe Sakic at 17, Ray Bourque and Sidney Crosby at 15, Dit Clapper for 14, and then Daniel Alfredson, Mario Lemieux, and Jonathan Toews tied in 5th at 13 years each.
So the longest Canadian captaincy of a Canadian.
Oh, sorry. And I missed Zdeno Chara because the list that I put in was from 2015. So until Chara passed him, he was the longest serving European captain ever. Also the first European captain to lead his team to a Stanley Cup final, which again, Chara one-upped him by doing it and then winning in 2011. But who taught a young Zdeno Chara how to become more than just a tough stay-at-home defenseman?
And you tweeted it out earlier today too. Like he's influenced so many other great leaders in the game who have come after him. And classic. You want to joke about the Sens being a farm system for the rest of the league. They're kind of a captain farm too, right? When you look at the list of really good captains that were under Daniel Alfordson at some point, and when you have a great captain like that as part of your team. Part of that is, you learn under him and then you want that for yourself because you see what he's doing. So, the trickle down effect with Daniel Alfredson is another really big thing. We should just put him in as a builder right now, boys.
Honestly, yeah.
Now we'll turn our attention next year to get Brian Murray in as a builder. But you know what? We can't be too greedy right now.
Yeah, let's soak this moment in.
Because Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of Famer. Drinking game for today's episode. Every time we say Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of Famer, I will never get sick of saying that. But truly, the only thing that could make this better is if in the next couple of weeks we get an announcement that he's rejoining the team, because this is as high of an honor as you can get as an NHL player, and he's the first Ottawa Senator. Because I told Pilsy in the first segment, Martian, we can't count Marian Hossa. We like him. He had a couple good years, scored 40 goals in Ottawa, but he was claimed by a few other teams afterwards. Yes. So for him to go in the Hall of Fame, and just to get back to the leadership point, how are Leaf fans going to spin their brain out of this pretzel? They chirp Alfredson, shouldn't be in the Hall of Famer, or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And then they talk about how amazing a leader of Jason Spezza is. Well, where do you think Jason Spezza, a young offensive, party animal type player, where do you think he learned his leadership skills? Because I can tell you it's from number 11.
Yeah, agreed. Another one for that list of great leaders that came from Alfie. So, I don't know what else to say, guys. He was just such a legend of the game, and I just think it's great that he's finally able to get in.
Do you think that's going to be a worthwhile event to go to? Obviously it's good for TV, but should we be trying to rally the troops? It'll probably be in November. I think they do it.
Oh yeah, in the building, you mean like pregame ceremony kind of thing, or an induction?
No,
ceremony?
In the induction ceremony at the Hall of Fame. Well, every year they have the Hall of Fame game, right? You got to think it's Ottawa Toronto this year.
Gotta be.
Should
be. Dude, imagine Alfie go. They do it it's in Toronto. What kind of reception is Alfie going to get when he goes out to center ice for that ceremonial puck drop?
Oh my gosh!
Well, he's got to go out there and fake throw his jacket into the crowd or something. That would be all time.
Or shouldn't it be Ottawa and Vancouver?
Yeah, I was going to say they had 3 guys.
Well, it's always in Toronto though.
Yeah, but
the Hall of Fame game, just have it at the
we'll do an offsite. Yeah,
have
a neutral zone
ACC.
game.
Yeah,
neutral game. Neutral territory.
That's so good, boys. That is so good. There's not much more to say. Any final thoughts there, Martian? Because right now we're just kind of soaking in it. It's just unbelievable. We got to give stick taps to Craig Medaglia and the whole crew over there at Alfie to the Hall, because they got that thing absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. They made this go viral. They were the straw that stirred this drink, this beautiful, delicious, tasty drink that we're all basking in right now. My final thoughts would just be I'm so glad it finally happened, because I did not want this to be one of those things where we always just look back on it year after year and say, oh, Alfie should be in, or we're complaining about Alfie not being in. I just didn't want it to get to that point, or, have Alfie end up if the Sedins got in and then Alfredson didn't, then
Right.
it's a slight. Like that's a full-blown slight. So I'm really glad all three of them are deserving. So I'm happy about it, boys. I'm really happy, and I'm happy to see you guys.
I know we miss you, buddy. We're post-gas season's coming back though.
It'll be back
Absolutely.
sooner than we know. So yeah, don't miss me too much, but I'll see you in the goalie-friendly chat.
Yeah, goalie-friendly chat, and we'll get you back on after free agency. You know what? Pillsy might actually try to get you on next week because I'm going to be away, and maybe a little
some
draft
reaction. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah, Pillsy, let's do it.
Sounds good to me. We'll touch base. We'll get that set up.
All right, everyone's favorite recurring guest, friend of the show, at Lalim's Martian. Enjoy it, buddy. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
You too, boys. Have a good rest of the pod.
See you, Martian.
All right, Pillsy. So let's get back to more Daniel Alfredson talk, and we got to touch on the history of the 7th overall pick. So we talk about the draft, Pillsy. Daniel Alfredson was drafted 133rd in his draft year. He has more points than anybody else from that draft class.
Easily, yeah. Wow.
It's not even close. Like that's the type of thing where you're looking and you're just like, how do you deny that he's the 1994 NHL draft? And I will say the 5th member, like the guy who now we can turn our attention to, and it's an Ottawa-born guy. I think that now the talk has to go to how can we get Rod Brind'Amour into next year's selection.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Or Walt Tkachuk, honorary Senators family member. I would be down for that as well.
Yeah. So I think with Walt, I think you're probably looking like, why not get him and Jeremy Roenicken together? Both 500 goal scorers.
Yeah.
Both kind of brought attention. Now, was it everlasting? No, but brought attention to hockey in the desert when they were together with Rick Tocchet down there.
Yep.
But I think next it's got to be Rod Brind'Amour. He's got the cup. He's got the games played. He was an absolute warrior. 2-time Selke Trophy winner as well. So I think if we're looking at who's next,
agreed.
I think it should be. Oh, nice. The Sens just put out a 2-minute video. Like you absolutely love to see this from the organization as well, Pillsy. Like, look at this. Pulling it up here on Twitter. Not just our captain, but your captain. Congrats, yes. Daniel. Your impact immortalized.
And that's part of the reason why, if we're looking at silver linings as to, okay, he didn't get in as soon as he should have, it's nice that he got in now when the Senators organization is totally different. Because imagine he got in 2 years ago and like the Sens just like
ignored it.
They just retweet the Hall of Fame without any caption like that. That's all it is. Like now it's going to be celebrated. Like they're going to bring the fans into this moment and everyone can be a part of this amazing accomplishment that's happened for this franchise. It's like at the home opener, Ross, I expect we're going to have some sort of ceremony for Alfie. There's got to be.
100%. And we mentioned the goalie-friendly group, so Cam's already dropped in a line here. You want to read that off for the people?
Yeah, you did not drop a captain shit reference. That is disappointing, yes.
But certainly apt as well. So we got that in for you, buddy. Unbelievable timing there. All right, what do you say we hit a final break and get into the history of the 7th overall pick? Because that, as it stands right now, is where the Ottawa Senators will pick. And if you like mock drafts, head over to our YouTube channel. No, we are not uploading a 4-hour audio podcast because unless you're like Pillsy, who loves driving anywhere he goes, cross country, you name it, Pillsy will do that drive. Yep. I don't know if anyone's going to do the audio version. And also, we made it our goal to make it visually appealing, different graphics up throughout. So stick taps again to everyone who helped us with that. So let's hit a break and then we'll get back to our 7th overall pick chat. All right, Pillsy. I'm still fired up. Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of Famer. Like, it just doesn't get any better than that.
No, it really doesn't. It like I still have like butterflies. Like I still have that fast heartbeat. I'm overjoyed. Like
unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal. Now Ian Mendez, good friend of the show, he put out as well. I threw him a link to the pod here, but I don't think he's seen it yet. But he just said downtown arena approval. Check. Yeah, Alfredson in the Hall of Fame. Check. Good things usually come in threes. Pillsy, what's next?
The Josh Norris re-signing. Remember, I told you.
That's not enough. That's not enough.
Fair. The draft is going to happen.
No, like, bring Drew home.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because, like, Josh Norris is RFA. Like, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
The good things happen in threes. Like, dream big, buddy.
All right.
Dream big.
I like
Claude Giroux to Ottawa. I would absolutely love to see that.
This
Man,
is going to help his research.
This is great. Well, let's do our research now into the history of the 7th overall pick. Now, where I'll start with this is when you did your research, what was your overwhelming opinion? Like, what is the value of the 7th overall pick?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Hockey DB, they do a good job. You can just figure out all NHL players selected at the 7th draft position from 2021 all the way down to 1963. So there's a lot of options and players you can look at here. My overall opinion is there's not a lot of like superstar game changers, but there's some big role players. Like there's a lot of kind of number 2 defensemen and top guys on second line type players. So, and that's kind of what they've been saying about this draft, right? Like there's not generational talent, but there's guys that you can look at and be like, he's going to be a big part of a successful team one day. And that's kind of the glaring thing I get here. A lot of good number 2 defensemen and then guys that are forwards that have really carved out nice careers.
Unbelievable.
Only one Tendy, just to get that stat in there.
Ooh, how long ago? Let me guess.
Actually, it's possible you might know this. 1994.
Oh.
I didn't know his name when I saw it.
No? Is it how many wins? Like, did he have a good career?
I mean, he played 219 games.
Oh. No.
He only had like 2 seasons
what
as a
team?
starter. LA drafted him and he spent all of his career except 14 games there.
And who was the 14 games with?
Carolina in 03-04. You're not going to get it.
No, who is it?
Jamie Storr.
Oh, geez, yeah, I would have never gotten that. Like, that's a name where when you say it, it's like, sure, yeah, kind of, maybe remember.
I had no clue.
From like a hockey card or something, but yeah, no dice.
I want to give a quick shout out just because it's very time appropriate. Number 7 that I really noticed, an Ottawa boy, Luke Richardson. Congratulations to him also, the new head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. About damn time that guy got a head coaching job.
Way about time. And I didn't like how the Sens kind of threw him around when they hired Guy Boucher. He was a Sens assistant coach when he retired as a member of the Senators, played a year. So weird. Alternate reality where him and Jason Smith were both on the Sens at the same time. Both like legit players elsewhere in their careers, but finished them off here in Ottawa. And then they were both assistant coaches for Ottawa on that. And then he moved to Binghamton because he wanted to be a full-time head coach. That was his goal. But then when they hired Guy Boucher, they're like, hey, do you want to come be an assistant coach again in Ottawa? It's like, no. I wanted to be the head coach in Ottawa.
To do something bigger. Yeah, exactly.
Unreal. So then he ended up settling to be on the bench in Montreal, stuck it out through the firing. They fired every coach except for Luke Richardson.
Yeah.
Named him interim head coach. He got a win, and now he's a full-time head coach. So that's solid. He was 7th overall pick, eh?
He was in 1987. Unfortunately, it was the Leafs that drafted him. Gross, but we'll look past that.
1,400 NHL games. Is that the most ever by a 7th overall pick? No, it's not.
It is not.
One 7th overall pick had more. Do you know?
Yes, I do. I'm looking at the page right now, and I would know just quickly. It's Shane Doan.
Yeah, Shane Doan, Winnipeg Jets draft pick. So he played his whole career with one franchise, of course, moving with the team to Arizona. Now, let's say since 2000. What's your overall, like, are there lots of busts, or is this a pretty solid indication that you usually get a very good player?
I certainly wouldn't say there's lots of busts. I would only say there's, going down the list, I mean, Elias Anderson, I feel like that's fair. It's a bust. Hayden Fleury, I'm not willing to say he's a bust yet.
But for that draft position, like if we go, and this is actually the anniversary of the 2014 NHL draft, so that's funny timing that he was the 2014. There's probably, the next 2 picks, William Nylander and Nikolai Ehlers, probably rather those guys.
Yep, that's definitely fair. Okay, I'll throw him in the bust category.
Yeah, please. Yeah, throw him in the pile.
Then, Jack Skill, Chicago is
I think it's Skilly, and that probably speaks to the fact that he's bust.
Yeah, whoops. Chicago just whiffs on first rounders professionally, other than obviously their top end guys. Like they haven't had much luck there. Radislav Oles, not sure about him.
Yeah, with Florida.
Yeah, and then Lars Johnson, that's tough. Only 8 career NHL.
Oh, Boston, shocker.
Not sure if he got injured or something, so maybe that's a rude comment, but just looking at the stats.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. 8 games, tough anywhere you look at it. On the other side of that, you could get a player like Jacob Voracek at 7th overall. You could get a Jeff Skinner. Or do you like defensemen? How about Matt Dumba, Darnell Nurse, Ivan Provorov, Quinn Hughes as the players? You know what? I think that the 7th overall pick, they've gotten better and better more recently. Look at the recent 7th overall picks. If we count backwards, we've got William Eklund, Alexander Holtz, Dylan Cousins, Quinn Hughes, Elias Anderson, Clayton Keller, and Ivan Provorov. Like those are some solid players. When you see all these picks, Pilsy, does it make you less enticed to move that pick?
Yeah, I think so. And especially, obviously, we've done a deep dive into this draft. So I'm very aware of who's available and what kind of impact I feel they can have. And I feel like there's good value at 7th overall. And I would have no issue at all if the Sens ended up keeping it and selecting 3 of the guys that we're kind of focusing in on. So, and this just goes to show you there is talent that you can get down there. I mean, look at Quinn Hughes. Like I talked about number 2 defenseman. I would have no issue labeling him as a number 1 defenseman. And that is some massive value you can get.
100%. So I'm still in the mind that if you can get a Kevin Fiala or likewise player, you do it. But I've also heard, a few names like, William Karlsson, although it better not be for the 7th overall pick. Like, I don't want you to take a swing. I want you to take a home run swing if you're trading that 7th pick. Like a Clayton Keller. Like, don't shoot and be like, this guy could be a top 6 contributor. No, you want a guy who can play with Timmy for the next 5 years and who's going to produce point per game. Like, you shoot high if the 7th overall pick is in the mix.
Yeah, don't swing at a low curveball that's near the dirt. Swing at your dad. Your dad is throwing you a pitch for the home run derby. That's what you're swinging at for that.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that one, Pilsy. So I think that the moral of the story is you're going to get a very good player at 7th overall.
Opportunity to do that, yes.
Don't be discouraged by what happened at 10 last year. This is 7th. Like if they drafted 7th last year, you could have gone any which way of who went 7, 8, or 9.
Oh, no.
Or 11 or 12 or 13.
They might have taken Boucher at 7, honestly, Ross.
But it did seem like there was a top 9.
Yeah.
Didn't it? It did seem like there was a top 9 where Dylan Genter was the last, and they did maybe not in the order that we thought, but there was a group of 9.
Yep.
This year, I don't know. Like we've done
this year, there's
much,
a group of 5, and then after that, it gets very interesting.
Fair, but Sens fans will probably hear that and get scared off.
I mean, and that's fair as well. Like there's risks to be had here, but I think if there's going to be a couple options: Cutter Gauthier, Joakim Kamel, and who do you want to throw in as the third option there?
Frank Nazar.
Like, if any of those guys are available and they select any of those guys, I'll be happy.
Cale Makar effect, Conn Smythe winner, some stick taps, unbelievable player. Can't help but watch him and no pressure. I'm not saying they're the same player, but the way he dominates games, like Sanderson, you're on the clock, pal. 5th overall pick. Just kidding.
And he kind of followed the Makar journey, so that's good to see.
All I'm saying is I hope Jake Sanderson was watching those performances. Not saying that we're putting pressure on him to be that player. I think if he's a steady, reliable presence, can contribute a bit offensively, I'll be happy. You never set the bar at a guy who is literally a generational talent. But right shot defenseman, Pilsy. You heard Nathan McKinnon, or it was Landeskog.
No, it was Gabe Landeskog. So good. I think it was Emily Kaplan asked, what's your message to other teams for how your journey led to here? And he's thinking,
no, like how they can follow your like build of a team.
Yeah, he's thinking, and then he's like, oh yeah, I got it. Find yourself a Cale Makar. I mean,
when you hear that though, Pilsy, like Nemec and Jurček are going to be gone in the top 5. To me, both of them, no brainer.
And neither of those guys are Cale Makar. So
no, but even just like right shot defenseman.
Yeah,
like you need a cornerstone defenseman. You kind of need 2. Like,
well, there's 2.
Devon Taves didn't get the credit that he deserved. He's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, you need two corners, a left and a right corner to round out that cornerstone support.
100%.
Usually there's four corners. I realize that, but
Well, the others is an elite center and a goalie.
Boom.
Yeah. And people are like, Darcy Kemper, yeah, he didn't have the best playoff overall. I think his save percentage hovered around 900,
but that's all he needed to do. That's the crazy thing. Look at the previous seasons of the Colorado Avalanche. They're using third, fourth string goalies. Guy like Hutchison and Hammond played in the NHL playoffs for the Colorado Avalanche
in the second round.
Yeah, all they needed was a guy to hit 900, and they're like, "We'll do the rest."
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, how awesome is this? Guess where Alfie was when he found out that he was in the Hall of Fame?
Golf course.
That's going to pull on the heartstrings.
Wow. I was not expecting that. Okay.
Another memory side by side. Not the
That's
first
awesome.
and not the laugh. If you're just listening, Eric Carlson posting a photo together with Daniel Alfordson. Wow. That's unbelievable. That makes you a little emotional seeing this.
Beautiful.
Daniel Alfordson is a Hall of Famer. That's unbelievable. Now his number's in the rafters, and now he's going to have a, what do they call it, a bust in the Hall of Fame?
A bust?
I think that's what they, no, I think that's
not.
I think that's where it's like a sculpture of just their head. I think that's for the Major League Baseball or whatever. A plaque in the Hall of Fame there. So kids, when I'm taking my kid to the Hockey Hall of Fame, I'll be able to say, hey, it's Daniel Alfredson. Grew up on that guy. The Alfie chants in the CTC. They were chanting Alfie when he wasn't even playing anymore. Yeah. In like 2017, like at 11:11, up until 11 minutes. Like this guy transcended the game of hockey in the city of Ottawa, and nobody is more deserving than him to be a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Unreal. Any final thoughts on that? Because we got to end the show off talking about the title of this show is just Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of Famer with a bunch of them exclamation marks all in caps.
Yeah, I mean we've said it all. It bears repeating though. Alfie is in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I just wanted to let that breathe. Daniel Alfredson is a Hall of Famer. All right, quick programming note. This is going to be my last live show, but if you're just listening to it, it's going to be like I've gone nowhere because we have set up with as many interviews to get you prepped for the NHL Draft. Yes, we are not done our NHL Draft coverage. We have Scott Wheeler, Chris Peters, Corey Pronman, David St. Louis. I'm missing someone. Tony Ferrari coming up.
I think that's it. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, Tony, we love you, buddy. But we've got all that coming up on Locked On Senators next week. And then on the day before the draft, we just recorded this yesterday, Pilsy and I will go through our own personal rankings. Now, if there's any breaking news, Pilsy's going to jump on. Don't give him a hard time about the intro. He's going to absolutely kill it. I have faith in you, buddy. He's going to do the intro, and you'll jump in for any breaking news, right?
Absolutely, and I'll be doing all the ad reads from all our favorite sponsors. And yeah, the show's going to look a little different, but for the most part, you're not going to notice too much. It's going to be put out similar times. We got great interviews. Ross is going to be in on the interviews, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be something different, but it's going to be fun. Yeah,
and we'll do this on the other way later this summer because you got a couple vacations that you're going to take, and it's going to be weird. I think we've probably done 400 shows because when we started, it's so funny because Chris Parliament, who people, longtime listeners will remember, longtime Sens Central citizens, yes. He did episode 1 all by himself. Yep. The irony is kind of funny there. But now, I think you and I haven't missed an episode together, start to finish, in like over a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's
probably since COVID.
Yeah. Now I can't rack my brain. We didn't do any solo episodes.
No. That's wild, dude. Hell of a job. And it's still onwards and upwards. We just hit 2,500. So now we're a little bit poorer because we're going to buy a certain subscriber Sens jersey and then a separate subscriber a jersey of a prospect. And we hope you pick Jake Sanderson because Pilsy and I are going to make the trip to the Ralph next year. So we're going to be able to get the jersey made right there. So stay tuned for that. We'll pick a winner when I get back from my trip. On the 600th episode, we'll pick a winner. Yeah. This is 89, I believe. So I'm back for 98 and 99, and then we'll hit the 600 strong. So we can't thank you enough. Tell a friend, be a friend. I think it's be a friend, tell a friend. You know what?
It works.
what an episode. What an absolute fantastic day to be an Ottawa Senators fan. And like Carl putting out the tweet, like, isn't that just a cherry on top?
It just feels good. Finally, it feels like there's unity and there's harmony in the community for Sens fans.
Unbelievable. All right. Everyone have a great rest of your day and week. I'll talk to you next week. I'm going to try to jump on for the draft reaction, but if not, my next live show will be the Monday after the draft. The draft's on Thursday, Friday, so I'll get you some absolute nice, fresh reaction. Pilsy will give you the immediate reaction, and then I'll save those takes. I'm going to write them down, and you'll get a double barrel action for that. But for today, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Daniel Alfordson edition of the Locked On Senators podcast. Your team every day.